Hey everybody, Shay here for a channel update for May. A couple things to talk about off the top. I think just to begin, I'm going to be doing these every 2 months instead of every month. Now the plan is to eventually go monthly again, but right now my confidence rate at the things I'm saying to you is not high. It's not a high level. It's not high enough level that I feel like I can do these every month and stay true to it, because I actually get down on myself when I feel like I've lied to the audience. So I'm trying to restrict that to gold member content, where I will share more raw thoughts about my planning, and some of that feedback influences the directions I go. First thing to talk about off the top is Cyberpunk 2077. I did finish that game somewhere around mid-April or so. I had planned to do a Let's Talk with the Angel Arts and a couple other YouTubers, but I needed to get done Act 2. At the time, I was not anywhere near. I didn't know where the end of Act 2 was, but in any case, I took a focused attempt. Like, I stopped all production on all of my YouTube channels, so I grinded out the game to the point where I was right at the end of the game by the time we did the Act 2 Let's Talk. And then when we finished that talk, I ended up finishing the game within 2 or 3 hours in the afternoon. So that was a long time ago. That was like 3 weeks ago. In any case, we just did the Act 3 Let's Talk this morning. And so Cyberpunk is, for all intents and purposes, behind me at this point, except for the editing. Now, when I grinded and focused on playing Cyberpunk and I got through Act 2 and completed the game, I recorded about 60 plus hours of footage in about 10 days. But I mean, I had to stop everything. I stopped editing, I stopped everything. All channels have been, my manga channel has been dead, reaction channel started off, but it like died right away. Not dead, it's gonna come back, but it's just I had to take a break from everything because I wanted to focus on just playing. You know, it's disappointing that it's not picking up as much attention as, you know, as I love the game. That's all I have to say. And so I want to finish the game, and completionist me, I had to do it, and so I did. But I have to edit through all that footage right now. And so the big struggle I was facing right now is it's not that I want to start playing new games. It's just I would play new games because I feel like, you know, I would like to. It's kind of a mix of like I want to, but I can wait. But it's complicated, okay? But the point is that, but when I start something like Life is Strange, which I was in my head, I was like, it was kind of a test. I was actually testing the settings, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm playing now, you know? And I kind of play the first episode, but then by playing the first episode, I'm like, now I just want to play the entire series, you know? But I had this hovering, the weight of the Cyberpunk, the 60 hours of Cyberpunk I had to edit through, was something real. I want to finish what I started, and so I did some math, and I'm about a 71% efficiency rate on the editing of this stuff. I did about 7 hours of editing. I came out of that with 5 episodes of content, and I basically review my footage at about ×3 speed. That just trim out like the obvious kind of cuts and clean it up a little bit more with a slower review. So, you know, 1 hour of content might actually take me 3 hours to edit through, something like that. But I'm watching, let's say, a 4-hour session in one clip of video. I'm watching that at ×3 speed, so I'm kind of getting through that in an hour and a half. But then I still have to go through, you know, cleaning up 3 hours of whatever's left. Like 4.5 hours might turn into 3 hours. 3 hours turns into 3 episodes, but I have to clean that up, you know. So it takes me a long time to edit. But the efficiency's decent. I forget what the total numbers. I think it's 55 hours left of editing to do, which results in about 33 hours of work that I need to do to get about 30 to 33 episodes of content for Cyberpunk. It's going to crack just over the 100 episode mark on the channel, and then that one would be done. But that's the thing, is like I could start playing other games, but it makes me push the backlog away, and then while I'm playing the other games, I'm thinking about the backlog when I'm editing the new games, but I'm thinking about the old backlog, and that old backlog never goes away, and that's that pressure and stress of knowing I need to do it, I need to get this on the channel. It never goes away, and it actually impacts any new experience I try to have moving forward. Does that make kind of sense? On top of that, my Dropbox ran out of space. And I got the biggest here. My hard drive ran out of space on my laptop where I do all my editing. All of that happened last week. So I was like, I gotta focus on editing. Gotta get this thing done. So I gotta clear my hard drive, my Dropbox. I gotta archive my stuff, and I gotta move on. I gotta clear the slate. On the same topic, I have backlogs from December, from Christmas. I have Oxygen not included. I recorded possibly 40 hours worth of content. That's not 40 hours worth of good content, because I messed up a lot, and I just, you know, it's gonna be a lot of garbage, you know, so I gotta cut around. But I have that. I would like to get through that because I like the experience of playing a strategy game like that blind. It's like strategy games out there that I don't think I'll ever play, but I watch them because I love to watch the YouTuber working through these challenges, but they're generally not blind anymore, if that makes sense. When they're blind, it's like, because I know how I struggle, but I think that's entertaining as hell. I mean, when I'm going through it. But I get that that's not necessarily always, that doesn't translate, you know? And because I'm not doing consistent uploads, it's even worse that it doesn't translate, because they're casual, you know? But I still want to upload them because I think it's a fun experience, you know? And I just want it logged somewhere. I want it out there. Anyway, so there's that. I want to get through. I have to, at some point, find time to clear that off my hard drive. Or I abandon it, you know? Or I abandon it. But I don't want to do that. Because what if I want to go back to Oxygen and I include it, and I do start to learn how to play it more, like a Dig or Die series. Second series I ever did on the channel, like the big committed series. It was Dragon Age Origins and then Dig or Die, and those weren't blind, but they're doing well today. So 5 years later, those series are doing well. And so yeah, so there's that. And then there's the third game, which is Hollow Knight. I got addicted really hard to that one. I forgot how many hours I got of that one, but somewhere around 10 to 20 hours with a backlog. Now I feel like I have about 9 to 10 hours left of editing to do on that one. And I'm cleaning up a lot of the garbage there too, because there's going to be a lot more grind and garbage in the next 9 hours that I have to edit through. And then there's a deep struggle. There's a deep struggle in that game, which I would say, how can I put this lightly? I mean, I want to play more of the game. I want to attempt to clear the game, but it gets very challenging for someone like me. There are some fights that are very challenging for someone like me. Because it's just my brain doesn't assimilate to that kind of challenge because of the way the inputs work for me. Like it's if you watch enough content of this channel, you know what I'm talking about, and it's very accelerated experience that doesn't actually feel good. I love the game, I love everything about it, but there's something about some challenges that are coming up that I'm afraid to edit through them. That's how bad they got to me. But I'm gonna see how far I can get through those, and I'll get them done. I'll get them up there just so that people can see what that experience was like for me playing it. What new blind content am I gonna play? Well, there's Life is Strange, which started. That was one of those accidental starts. I was installing a couple new games that I wanted to test out. I was making sure the capture software was going to be ready to capture them. Life is Strange happened to be the first one I ended up testing. I was like, I guess I'm playing now, and I just like rolled into it. I wasn't planning it, but I was like, now I'm playing it, and now I want to finish the entire series. And I was like, Jesus, no, you have this entire backlog. Clear the backlog, man. So that's the struggle I'm in right now, and it feels like it might not sound like a deep struggle to everyone out there, but I'm talking about close to maybe 100 hours of work that I need to find time for. Do you understand? So I feel like I'm at a threshold of, it's not stress, it's anxiety when I think about it, when I think about what I'm trying to do versus what it's hard to explain. I'm going in circles. What games are coming? This is the exciting stuff. Okay, so Life is Strange, obviously you heard me talk about. The next one I want to play because I know they're kind of short-ish games. It's going to be Batman Arkham Asylum, so that game for sure. But that entire IP, I've got all of them, so eventually those ones will come to the channel. Obviously the Telltale games for Batman, those are also on the channel. I don't know where they'll fit in. I don't know if I want to do the Walking Dead Telltale's games first. There's a lot of those too, but again, those are done in chunks where I would love to do them as single sit downs, so the entire chapter will get recorded and uploaded as one channel, as one episode, and it would be like a weekend thing. So I would get them done and I would upload on a weekend, but you get the entire chapter. It wouldn't be chunked up, you know? So there's like that kind of plan that I would like to try to figure out time for. There was the big thing that got released, which was the Horizon Zero Dawn on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. They released it for free. I think it's still free. If you don't know about this, if you go to the PlayStation Store, you can get the game entirely free. Expanded edition, so all of it, you know, and so I installed it on the PlayStation 4 right away. It was going to be one of the next PS4 games I wanted to try to find time for. I mean, then there's the Uncharted games. God, there's so much to think about. When I think it gets intimidating. Point is, I really like the look of Horizon Zero Dawn, and I'm constantly thinking about that game. And the weekend I was thinking about it when I was installing a bunch of these other games, Life is Strange being one of them. One of them was I was Horizon Zero Dawn. I was like, I gotta put this in somewhere in the summer. I gotta get this thing in because I can't stop thinking about it, and that's usually a good sign, you know. And then the next day, that Twitter announcement on Twitter about it being free, and I was like, and my decision's made, because I didn't have the extended cut. I had the original game. I wouldn't have had the DLC, you know. So got installed on the Wednesday or Thursday, whenever they gave that game for free. So now it's in the waiting queue. On top of that, I installed Disco Elysium because of the hearing about the what's it called, the director's cut of that game, which they released. I think I'm gonna say this lightly because I don't know for sure. I haven't dug into it, but I think all of the text is voice acted now, which was why I love to play Disco Elysium, but I don't want to play another game where I'm like reading 90% of the time. It's just it gets a bit exhausting as a let's play for me to read that experience out, because I'm not 100% comfortable with the way I read. And so I have to get and Cyberpunk helped with a lot of that, just like forcing myself through bad reading so I know it doesn't turn into an editing nightmare has helped, because I was doing that because I wanted to play Disco Elysium. Okay, so that's how that works out. Now, the thing with that, though, is that if the majority of it is now voice acted, yes. Yes, it's installed now. This is no longer in the next month sort of plan. The next month for me would be clearing out the queue for Cyberpunk 2077, finishing the editing for Hollow Knight, at least maybe getting back into the Oxygen Not Included, just to see if I can salvage whatever those 30 to 40 hours are. But it could be a casual thing that gets uploaded, but it's not going to be consistent. But yeah, outside of that, it's going to be Life is Strange, and I'm going to try to focus on the entire set for that particular game. Now, generally with games that have multiple things in an IP, I will switch through it, you know, but that particular game, I don't know, right now my gut feeling is saying don't do stuff between Life is Strange. Whereas Assassin's Creed, yeah, I'm gonna do all of them. I think I'm gonna do all of them eventually. As long as this channel is alive, then I'm gonna try to do the Assassin's Creed games. But there's a lot of them. And so because there's so many Assassin's Creed, that would burn me out to just play Assassin's Creed, and it would turn the channel into an Assassin's Creed channel. I don't want to get tired of something like Assassin's Creed. I want to enjoy it, and I want it to be fresh. Every time I come at it, there's like going to be 2 or 3 smaller games in between, and then roll in like a new Assassin's Creed. That's kind of my plan right now. So yeah, one rule I have for myself, and this might be a medium-term rule, is that I will only play one game at a time. I won't parallel play games. I will upload multiple games, but I won't parallel play games. And that's just so that my mind space is in the active experience of the game that I'm playing. So with that being said, my tentative plan right now is Life is Strange, and I do think I'm going to do Life is Strange Before the Storm, and then Life is Strange 2. Those feel like they're going to go back to back to me. After that, it's going to be Batman Arkham Asylum, and then after that, I don't know if it'll be Disco Elysium. That one's floating, or it's going to be Assassin's Creed 3. We're going to go back into we're going to roll Assassin's Creed back in, and then we're going to roll back out, and we're going to do another kind of break, just a palate cleanser. And then we'll black flag it, you know. But I'm seeing that's going to be into the summer, and then that's starting to talk like Horizon Zero Dawn is probably, I have to be considering that. It's like it's going to be a summer game for me. I feel it. I need that game. I need to play the game. And then what else? It could be another, like the second Batman game, but there's Batman Telltales games. They're shorter. So I don't know. There's so much stuff. This is why I didn't want to do this update. But I need to do something. Just let you know where things are at. And to talk about that backlog problem I have right now, I really need to get through this backlog because it is weighing on me. I can't comfortably play new games knowing that I'm just adding more backlog to the stuff that's stressing me out when I think about the stuff like getting things onto the channel. Okay, let's end this update off with just quickly touching on something that is very real right now. It's impacting the channel because it's impacting me. I'm not feeling it with the YouTube platform. It's the platform itself is really starting to get to me. It's doing things. I'm a data person, and it's doing things with the data that I can no longer understand. I don't understand it. I don't know how to plan around it. It's driving all the wrong strategies and behaviors out of me because, again, I am a data-driven person. This is what I do in my real-time job. Like I'm data-driven, and so no matter how much I say don't look at the data, don't be informed by the data, that's impossible for someone like me, because you go into YouTube Studio where you do all the content management, you're going to see data all the time. That's part of YouTube Studio. It's baked into the entire experience of YouTube Studio. And so me seeing those signals, I know what the data is supposed to be telling me. But when I act on the data, I'm not getting the feedback loop. The feedback loop is not a positive one coming from the YouTube platform itself, and that's going a little bit off the cuff on this particular update for the general audience. I tend to go into this more granularly with the gold members because it's just somewhere for me to kind of vocalize some of the thoughts in my head that I can't put the words together like I'm doing now. I'm struggling right now, just communicate it, but I'm doing the best I can. But I just wanted to get out there that there's something going on with the platform itself that it's mangling me. If you haven't noticed, the channel's name again is XEI Gaming. I switched it back. Turns out a lot of people were finding this channel because they were typing in XEI Gaming to find the content, and those were a lot of like unsubbed viewers that just enjoyed coming in to check on what Let's Plays were out there, grinding them out. And you know what? I welcome them because I would rather the traffic come to the channel and have some potential for people to kind of dig the channel and stick around than not have that. And so when I changed the YouTube channel name, I lost a lot. Like a lot of the incoming traffic was going away. I'm like, I don't even understand why this is happening. All the games are still the same, you know? Well, it turns out, yeah, no, your YouTube channel name matters, and I could show the data on it. It's pretty It's strangely significant how many people were finding just content on this channel by typing in XEI Gaming. And so I don't hate the name. I like it. I love it. But those other sub channels, you'll notice that I didn't really push through with that idea from a couple months ago when I was on that direction of splitting the content up by themes. Now, I thought that was for the good because data was driving that decision, and I still feel like it's probably the right way to go. But because I was getting false signals through all of February and into March, I was like, now I don't know anymore. I don't know what the platform's trying to tell me, but that channel, obviously, it got mangled. It got mangled for the last 3 months. It's been bad. And now here's the thing. I thought it was just the decisions I was making that was mangling the channel. But as I watch other content creators, all of them are starting to talk about similar things in the last 2 to 3 weeks, to where then I go, was I false signaling myself? You know what I mean? Like, so I was reading things, I was reacting to things, but now I'm hearing other people talking about the similar things I was going through. So it couldn't have been the things I was personally doing to the channel to change the channel. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm like, I don't know what I'm looking at anymore as a data person, and I gotta go, fuck this, you know. let's just move forward. And so I'm gonna move forward. I'm gonna move forward, and if I split the content eventually in the future, I'm gonna do it when things feel like I'm not hearing everyone else talking about how strange the platform's behaving on their channel right now. I'm gonna maybe try it in the future again, but at the same time, I'm like, Jesus, I feel like I've been crawling out of a hole after making some of those decisions. But again, I don't know if it was the decisions I made or it was YouTube's platform doing both. Anyways, that's enough of this update. I'm gonna have a headache. So that's the update. Leave your comments down below. Most of the people who engage on this channel, I get your vibe. You know what I mean? I know most of your icons or names are familiar to me. That I have a vibe. Now, if it's not familiar to me and you're new, and of course I encourage all the lurkers out there who are watching this, like, leave some comments down below so I can kind of get familiar with your alias and your icon. You know, so that if you want to encourage yourself to interact more in future episodes, I will know that you're coming from a cool spot. Because sometimes I see some new people come in, not necessarily just this channel's been awesome actually for its 5-year run. Jesus, it's been great. But sometimes on other channels, it's just you get some comments where I'm like, look, I don't recognize your name, I don't recognize your icon, and first impressions mean everything. You're a fucking troll. Get out of here. It's like I'm getting cold, like just like get out of here. Like, I don't need you here. I was too bold. Anyways, this is the stuff that should be left for the gold members, not for the general audience, because it could come out wrong. But I don't know. This is the state YouTube's put me in. Like, I could be diplomatic about some of these things, but part of me is like, I don't know if I don't know what matters anymore. So I mean, I guess I'll be as transparent with all of you as I feel like being right now. And there you go. That's the update. So catch you in the next one. Don't forget to explore, engage, and inspire, buddy. Peace. What a mess.